All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott formerly of Rankin Technical College. And let's see, let's change this. We'll leave it like this. This will be main.py. And this is our Python list program using object-oriented programming. I had some problems. I went back to my original, and I'm not sure exactly what I did wrong, but I'm going to quickly go over it with you before I go on and do the next one with dictionaries. So this is the main.py, and we're importing both employee as emp and employee manager as emp.mgr. All right, then the first thing we do here is we instantiate or create a new instance of the employee manager, which we'll look at in a minute. The main job of main, just as it's been previously, is to first create this menu. All right, so it says employee management system Python lists, and you can see the options from 1 to 12. I'm not going to read them off to you. All right, then you make a choice. Then inside of a try except block, as you can see, we try. If the choice is 1, that's the add. So let me go back in here and add, and no pun intended, let me add that. So this is add new employee. All right, so we set up everything here. There's their number, their first name, their last name, their hours, their hourly rate, etc. It's all in there. Then we've got a 2, and the 2 is to clear the employee list. And that's pretty simple. Then we've got a 3, which is going to copy the names from the employee list. So again, if it's a 1, we're just basically doing all the stuff we need to do, and then we're calling add employee to do the insert. If it's a 2, we're calling clear employees, and we're letting them know that the list has been cleared. We could go in here too after this and say, we could do a print here and just say employee has been added. Okay. In here we've got, and I should be putting in here \n's all over the place. I can F string here, but there's nothing special because I'm not putting out any variable, or here for that matter. So here we're saying the list has been cleared. Then if it's a 3, we're copying the names, just the first and last name. So this is looping through and grabbing all the first names and last names. If it's a 4, we're doing an employee list count. All right. And that count employees is just going to check the length. If it's a 5, we're getting an employee index. If it's a 6, we are inserting a new employee. Now, if the add puts it at the end, with the insert, we can put it wherever we'd like. That's basically up to us. All right. And we see employee inserted there. And up here, we just said employee, let's just say added. There. Okay. Then we've got a 7 here, which is an employee pop. Then we've got an 8 here, which is an employee remove. They're very similar, except this one's doing it by position, and this one is doing it by employee number. All right. Then we've got 9. This will reverse the employee list. And we're printing out everything when we're reversing it. 10 sorting by any field in ascending or descending order. All right, which has got a little more work, as you can see here. If it's an 11, we are displaying the employees list. And finally, if it's a 12, we are exiting the program normally. All right, it's a normal program termination. All right. If it's anything else, we're saying invalid choice. And if it tries and doesn't understand, we'll just give it an error. All right. And again, we're in here, so we're going to call main. So that's save all. I'm going to show you the run in just a minute. I've already done a run on here. All right, here are our program constants. And again, they are the minimum number of hours someone can work, the maximum number of hours someone can work, the minimum hourly rate, the maximum hourly rate, the maximum number of hours they can work without getting overtime, and then the overtime rate. All right, in our employee class, what you can see is not very big. In the init, we're basically setting up our employee number field, our first name field, our last name field, our hours worked field, and our hourly rate field right there. All right, we also have in here this property. So I had mentioned I was going to do this before and did not. So let's put in here Python at property. Okay. It says Python comes with a built-in add property, which makes usage of getters and setters easier in object-oriented programming. All right. And it says there's different ways that you can do this. All right, so they've got here, it says one way of doing this is as follows. So we've got a 2 Fahrenheit here. There's our 2 Fahrenheit. And as it says, create a new object, do this, do this, do this. And you can also do it using getters and setters, which typically start with get underscore and set underscore. So by doing those and using properties, basically, all right, it just, for lack of better words, it makes the process easier. All right, and I will put this one here. I think that was the one that I looked at when I went back and was trying to find out more about this. So there it is. And this is just the gross pay. We've done this many times before. If the hours are less than or equal to 40, no OT worked. Otherwise, OT worked. And if you put the slash back here, I can put this over multiple lines and not have to worry about pretty much prettying it up and whatever. So that's that. That's the employee property. And here's the employee manager right here. All right, we're importing employee as emp. And here's the class right here. And you'll notice everything is inside of the class. All right. When we initialize, what are we doing here? We are creating an empty employee list, right? When we add an employee, we're checking here. We want to verify. So normally I put this at the end, but I'll put it right here. So we want to verify that the employee number inputted is unique. If it's not, we raise an error. All right, if it is unique, what are we doing? All right. We're basically, what we want to do here is create the employee object and append it to the end of the list. All right, basically that's what's happening. Clear, I don't think I have to even put a thing here. This clears it. This makes a copy. This does a count. This does basically, as it says right there, we're looking right here. We got a for loop. All right, I guess I can put it here. It doesn't really matter. Now I'll put it down here. When we raise right here, we're putting in exception for non-existent employee number. All right, here we're inserting an employee, and remember up here we did it almost the same way, but we had to verify there that the employee number was unique. Well, if we insert, we again, just like before, we have to verify that that's unique. All right, but now we're doing an insert, so we're inserting it at a certain position. That position is what we passed in. When we pop, we're popping based on a position. We remove, we're removing based on an employee number. We reverse, we just call the reverse, and the sort is kind of the hard one. So I want to show you in here, I have run this. Now all I put in here basically has been comments and the like, so I haven't changed anything. But I want to show you the run that I did. All right, so I said 1, so this is 1. So add an employee, I put me in as number 100, 50 and 50. Then I did another 1, made 300 and put my wife in, 80 and 80. Then did another 1 and put in one of my daughters, gave her 250 for a number, and then looked at it, and here are the 3 of us. So we did an 11, and it brought that in. All right. Then as an example, we did a 7, and I popped number 1, that's 01, so we popped Sandy Scott off, and now there's Jeff Scott and Taylor Bumpus. All right, we did a 6. Where do we want to insert? Into position 1. Bob, I screwed up there, but all right. Employee number 555, Bob Bronson. And you'll notice that's the new employee number 1. All right. Did an employee index 5250, and that they said it was in number 2. $250, I'm sorry, 012, and there it is. Did the count, and there's 3 employees. Did a number 3, which printed out all the employee names in the list. Did a number 2 and cleared it. Did an 11 to show there's nothing in there. Added an employee back in, and then just went in and printed it out. Why that's in there twice, I'm not sure. It wasn't before, but you can see sometimes the stuff prints twice. Then exited. So that is, in a nutshell, that is the first one. So what I want you to understand from this is that I have now in here gone through and done 01, which was my payroll OOP list. All right. Now I should be able to come back into here and grab this one, because I think all that's in there, come on, 02 is in the dictionary is just the comment, but we're going to bring this one up anyway. Okay, it's just the main. And if I bring up main, there's the comment. Again, object-oriented program, this time using dictionaries. And that's all that's in here. So I'm going to come in. I've got my main. All right. And I'm going to add whatever other files I need to add, and I will do that shortly. I'm going to put this one to bed right now and start on the next one shortly. Thanks.